Hi guys, this week's painting is kind of me killing two birds with one stone. I finished Red Dead last week and I've been dying to draw Arthur on his horse, no matter how difficult I knew that would be. Plus, I really wanted to try out this huevember challenge since last year, so it's a little combination of the two. So today you're going to be seeing a few of the different stages that went behind creating this digital painting. In Red Dead 2 you play as the character Arthur Morgan, who keeps a journal full of pencil sketches and notes from his journeys, and I just really love that side of the game of just exploring and getting lost and going hunting and playing poker especially, and then hog tying people who cheat me at poker and dragging them behind my horse through the town. Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I wanted to create a painting that retained that pencil sketch style, whilst also kind of adding a singular colour palette, which is pretty much the only rule of huevember to my knowledge. For a while I've been wanting to try some of the techniques I've used in this painting today, like taking some pencil line art and just adding a gradient to it on Photoshop, but then I kind of wanted to get some stronger levels and contrast like I did in some of my thumbnail tests at the beginning, so I added a little bit of harsher mustard yellows to try and create those shadows. And yeah, I need to learn how to make brushes, I think. I wanted a thicker brush, somewhat closer to an oil paint with a bit of texture on it. A brush that doesn't need to be opaque to look alright. I tried that Critter program and it was nice to paint with it, but I just couldn't talk myself into learning the basics of another art program again, and I was just feeling pretty demotivated about it, so I went back to Photoshop. But Critter had a really lovely palette knife tool, which was really wonderful when you were trying to blend with the paint. And if anyone knows Photoshop a lot better than me, which is probably everybody who's listening, do you know if there is a tool like that in Photoshop and that I'm just completely ignorant of? Any help would be just brilliant. So yeah, without that, I just kept it rough and scratchy as if it was done with the side of a pencil. The background with the stag, if you played the game a certain way, I think you'll get why I did that. I was also trying to get the trees to feel a bit more abstract, kind of like prison bars too, if that comes across. I wasn't sure whether to talk about the game or not for this video. The story is brilliant, but then I'm going into spoiler territory, and to be honest, I managed to keep away from that when I was playing, so I don't really want to ruin it for someone else. I'll just say it's a great game, and especially if you like the first one, you'd definitely enjoy it. So I thought maybe instead I might talk about the repercussions of the game and what it's done to me. I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, I think most girls went through a horse stage. Surely there is still a horse stage in kid development. But anyway, I was never a massive horse fan. I was more of an animal fan in general, and horses kind of scared me. I don't know why I'm speaking in past tense, they still scare me. They're like giant jumpy rabbits that could kill you with one well-placed kick. But yeah, I remember back when I was a kid, a friend of mine had a birthday party at a place that was called Farmer Pa's. And the main thing I remember about that place is that it was like a kind of zoo farm. You'd have like one solitary sheep in a field, one lonely cow in a field, kind of like setup, and it was constantly being shut down because of foot and mouth at the time. Anyway, my friend was one of those horse girls and she really wanted to ride a horse for her birthday, so the first thing we did there was watch her get put on top of this massive horse, and I must have been like about 7 at the time, so if you can imagine, even shorter than I am now, so it was massive. And the horse immediately bucks her off. She just flies up into the air, horse is halfway across the field before she hits the ground. We all run over and she's broken her arm, and the party's over in 5 minutes of us arriving. We're all waiting for an ambulance there and parents to come back to the middle of nowhere that was Farmer Pa's. I just remember it was a right hand. She had this massive cast for the whole term in school that year. She was struggling to write left-handed, bless her. Oh god, I shouldn't laugh at her, I'm a terrible friend. But yeah, anyway, playing Red Dead 1 and now with the second game, it just really makes me want to try horse riding. I just never really felt that way until probably the last year or so. I mean, recently I went up to Beacon Fell in Lancashire and this group of older women were there going through the forest on horseback, just chatting like it was the most normal thing in the world, and I just thought that was so cool. And then the other day, when I was down here in Wales, I saw this girl, and she must have been like, maybe 12, like, she was quite young, and she was just walking along the riverside on the horse, and she was like a cowboy. It was so cool. Never seen someone that cool. Anyway, I'm getting massively jealous. So even though I'm absolutely terrified of horses, if I'm honest, I do really want to try it out and have a chance to ride horses sometime in the future. I should put it as like, you know, things that I want to do next year. These are my big dreams, guys. Don't break me apart on them. And that's really all I've got to chat about today. So what are your guys' big dreams? What are the big things that you're planning to do next year? And would you dare do horse riding? Or are you just a lot more courageous than me and you do horse riding all the time and you're like, Jasmine, you're such a wimp. But yeah, you're not wrong. I hope you've all had a great week. It won't be so long until it's childhood week. I've been sketching up some ideas and trying to get my head around what I'm going to do. So I really hope you'll be enjoying that. And I hope you enjoyed today's piece. Try and all keep warm now that the weather's gone horrible. And I'll chat to you all again next week.